One. Good afternoon and go Cats. KSR here outside the Joe Kraft football training facility on UK's campus. Drew Franklin, Zack Geoghegan, Adam Luckett. We've had a very long day here on campus. Started early with UK football's media day. We had heard from Mark Stoops, Bush Hamden, Brad White. Then all the players broke out for their interviews, did team photos. They gave us a quick lunch break and then was right back over here for an open practice for the media's eyes only. That just concluded. We're a little warm out here, so if I have a little Bruce Pearl, Sean Miller going on, please make fun of me in the comment section, but we're going to get through this. We're going to talk about a little bit what we saw at the practice, a little bit what we heard from the team. But Adam Luckett, I think we have to start with the biggest news of the day that dropped at noon, right as media day concluded. I would say that was intentional, but the NCAA announced level 2 violations for Kentucky football. I'm afraid they're going to try to tell us that the 2021 season did not happen because UK had 11 players caught up in the scandal with working for UK Healthcare, not actually working over there, but getting paid. We remember that being reported a while back. But finally, the punishment comes for that. They're vacating the games that those guys played in. Chris Rodriguez, Jordan Wright, two of the main figures that were involved in that. But what were your initial thoughts when that news dropped right after we got done with media day here?
Yeah, kind of surprised. Really, Friday news don't really hit us out of nowhere. RKO out of left field. But to me, I'd forgotten about all of that. I didn't know that makes sense that a punishment was coming, but we've had 8,000 different things change in the sport since then. So that drops today. 2 years to the day, really, of Mark Stoops saying, hey, I can't really say what's going on. And so, yeah, we know Chris Rodriguez, we know Jordan Wright, we don't know the 9 other players. Sounds like, or I believe the phrasing or the legalese used in that statement was kind of a settlement punishment. So you have to wonder, what was our bowl ban? Was reduced scholarships? What was that play there? I think it was more Kentucky just, accepting their slap on the wrist. 2 years probation. We don't really know what that means. If I had to guess, it means don't get in trouble again. So you'll have that hanging around. I don't think it's a super big deal, but you would rather not have that. So, but that part of the Stoops era is shut down and gone. But it does, that 10-3 season will have, if you look it up in the official record books, it will have an asterisk. And Mark Stoops' Wikipedia page might look a little different when you go and look at his record. But yeah, kind of unexpected.
Yeah, the trophy's still over there. I can almost see it from here through the glass. They didn't take that away. I have the memories. I don't have to pay back those bets making money on that team. So it is, I guess it's paperwork now. We're not downplaying it. It is a big deal. But on media day with so much going on, like he said, very unexpected, falling in their laps, but we're moving forward. This day is not about looking back. It's about looking forward. As we said, we got to hear from the coaches early this morning. Mark Stoops crashed KSR. It was fun talking to him, talking about quarterbacks. Tempo has been a big topic. I didn't realize when I asked him about tempo, he had already been asked 50 times about tempo inside. I said also the practice. Zach, what is your main takeaway? You were more active in the practice in there, so I'll start with you on what we saw as they were getting after it. What did you see of the guys on the field after they got done talking?
Well, for starters, this is my first football media day. So I'm Nick Roush today. For those who do not know, he's unable to attend. He's got bigger plans in store, hopefully very sooner rather than later for Nick. But I walked in, had my pastry, sat down next to my friend Drew Franklin here, and terrible weather day it started out as, but we were able to actually bump up practice 30 minutes, go outside and watch them run for a little bit. You and I and even Luckett were out there watching the quarterbacks throw a lot. Bush Hamden talks in ways that I didn't know. As someone who has never played organized football, I was not aware of the lingo and the language that is used, and it seems impossible to decipher.
I was trying to type it in my phone and couldn't even keep up as they were saying.
Yeah, it's just words over and over that have no meaning or connection to each other, but every time he would say it, he'd say 2 or 3 sentences worth. The quarterbacks would have it all down and know exactly what is happening, which I guess is the most basic part of being a quarterback. So good stuff there. It was interesting to see, Demi was running with the ones. You saw a lot of Hardly Gilmore out there kind of trading out with the ones as well. So it was nice to see some of the guys that or at least on the third day of practice, have kind of established themselves and where they are. But yeah, it was a lot of fun watching the quarterbacks just kind of learn from Bush, who is definitely loud and likes to yell a lot. I feel like that was kind of the same with Cohen and Scangarello as well. So not much has changed there, but I got to talk to Cutter during his media day, and him and Brock have become really good buddies. They play golf a lot, and so he's enjoyed the transition so far, and I believe he's kind of in that number 2 role right now. But those were just kind of my main impressions. You know, we really only got maybe, 35 minutes of practice, something like that. So, and I was actually in a spot I was not supposed to be standing, and Susan Lax was very nice about telling me to get the hell out of the way. So
I've been in that spot before.
I was
Me too.
here wandering around, but it was fun to kind of get the experience that I'm sweating still currently. But yeah, it's been great so far.
Yeah, the quarterbacks, I was watching them with you, even though they were kind of just getting loose, a lot of rolling out, going over that. But Luckett, there's never been more depth with Mark Stoops' program at quarterback position. He even said that on the show. He even said to me, he's like, you've been this a while. You know there's been years where if number one gets hurt, we're in a little bit of trouble. That's not the case this season. Gavin Wimsatt looks huge out there. Cutter Boley looks very far along. And of course, you've got Bo Allen, who feels like he's been playing college football since the Tim Couch days. I mean, that room's got a lot of depth and a lot of competition behind Brock Vandegrift.
Yeah, I think you see one, you hit on your big high school target, so you get Cutter Boley in here. You get Brock Vandegrift out of the portal to start, and then what the big change was going out and get Gavin Wimsatt after spring practice. Like that was a surprise. But yeah, I think overall the quarterback room, there's more depth there. I think there's a plan now with Vandegrift, and there's a plan in the future, I think, with Cutter Boley. And then you add Bo Allen as kind of that extra kind of veteran in the room, and Wimsatt's going to have a role this year as kind of lack of a better term, wildcat quarterback. Like he is going to factor into this offense one way or another, whether it's a short yardage, red zone option. He's going to be in there, and like we've heard them talk about nonstop running the ball, running the quarterback is going to be something this offense does, I think, with a decent amount of volume. Like they're going to run the quarterback, and I think that's when you hear them about running the ball, I think that's a lot of it, that they're going to use the quarterback as a weapon on the ground game, and then they're hoping that opens up opportunities in the pass game to take advantage of kind of their explosive playmakers. We know Barron Brown, we know Dane Key, but one of my bigger things I'm going to take from today was kind of Bush Hamden's comments on Jamori Macklin. It's kind of a great route runner. What was the problem last year? Route running was a huge problem. They talked about like guys getting open.
Quarterback depth looked good. Another position I noticed with a lot of depth, and they're going to need it, that defensive line. We heard the news, Luckett, in the press conference. We already knew about Josiah Hayes, but Darren Henry Young also out, Gadsden out. That's 3 defensive linemen that are gone, but they're acting like it's not a big deal. And after watching them practicing in drills, I kind of understand. And I walked around every position group watching them go through practice. No group was going harder than those defensive linemen. It would look like they were about to get in a fight, and the two guys that were fighting are patting each other on the back of the helmet, getting right in the back of the line. They're very competitive. Obviously, Deion Walker is standout. I love he's rocking the visor you can't see through, kind of yellow. It just adds to the mystique of Deion Walker. But then a guy that, I got to be honest, I don't know what his future holds, but I was watching Kendrick Gilbert, a sophomore, I believe.
Redshirt freshman.
Yeah, redshirt freshman. Was a 4-star prospect out of Indiana. Just of the limited practice that we saw, he really jumped out to me. I don't know what the future holds for him, but I was impressed at how hard he was going over there.
Yeah, I think, and again, back to the press conference, we asked Brad Wright, cross-training for nose, how are you going to handle that loss? And the answer, paraphrasing, was just like, oh, we're good. Like, we feel really good about that room. If the injury was going to happen, that's the place we would pick. We've got a lot of talent and depth and yada, yada, yada. So I was like, okay, that's definitely a good thing to hear. I think there's a lot of quiet confidence overall in the defense. Mm-hmm. And I think big number 0 has a lot to do with that. He's a game changer, game wrecker that they're going to use in a lot of different ways. And I think they're really excited about what that defense could become. And we saw it kind of in that practice. Like the defense, they were hard to block there when they went into team period, which is not surprising. A lot of offensive lines are going to have difficulty blocking that Kentucky front.
Yeah, I felt like the book is sort of like
Last
simplified.
year, the secondary, Max Harrison was a star, absolute star.
From each one,
right?
right?
We all know what he can do. But the addition of DJ Waller from the transfer portal out of Michigan, some of the other guys coming back, adding a little size, having some experience. I'm really looking forward to what that secondary can do at cornerback, veterans at safety too. That's a group I'm really looking forward to. Hopefully there's more playmaking like Max Harrison had last year, but they certainly look to have more bodies and more guys that are able and ready to play. Really, we could go on and on about the whole defense. That group is going to be stout. Zach, who else you spy on? I saw you over there checking on the tight ends a little bit. Anything jump out there?
Well, Bush, he said two questions keep him up at night in media day. He said the first one was talking about tempo. And he said the second one was, are the tight ends going to get used? And as I guess we hear every year now, he says that the tight ends are going to be more involved. They're very included in the explosive plays is what he was talking about with the tight ends, trying to get them open down the field. If after they established the run game first, that was still something that they were very big on emphasizing, and then try and look to tight ends running down the field. But I saw Kamari Anderson in person for the first time. That kid's huge.
Yeah.
It says he's listed at 250. He might be like 270, 6'5". Very big kid. Dane Key, on that same note, looks huge, a lot bigger than he does. Gavin Wimstead was another guy that I was like, how is this guy this big? He looks like he should probably be playing linebacker. But yeah, so the tight ends were once again the topic of conversation. I talked to Willie Rodriguez as well. He says that it's awesome getting to learn under guys like Dingle and Kamari and even Caddis, who I believe we didn't see out there. Soup said someone had a small soft tissue issue. It might have been Josh Caddis because we did not see him out there actually performing. But yeah, the tight end room is going to be very deep. We'll see if it actually gets used.
In summary, they're passing the looks test. I mean, you still got to go play on the field here in a little less than a month, but I'd say media day, saying the right things. They look the part. Stoops says there's a little, not says, but he seems to have a little quiet confidence. Baryon Brown even admits that he's matured since his first 2 years. He's also bulked up. He and Dane look like grown-ass men out there compared to the freshman and sophomore we saw their 2 years. So overall, expectations are just looking good so far, but a lot of camp left. Lucky, you want to put a bow on this with anything? Do you have any more takeaways?
I got stung by a bee today. That wasn't very fun.
But
watching football was fun. And tomorrow we'll be out here again for Fan Day. So if you see us, come say hi. And then we'll have another one of these rapid reactions tomorrow on KSR YouTube channel. So, and we'll have a live thread running at KS Board. Join now.
Check that all out. Sorry we're kind of a little short, a little behind the scenes. We lost a battery and we switched to a phone. It's really hot. We're doing our best out
here.
We
lost 5 batteries.
That's true.
We worked hard to deliver this rapid reaction. Hit the like button for goodness sakes.
Please. But thank you for watching, and I'm gonna go dry off. Go Cats.